Dawson Mercer with a goal. Devils win 5-3. Chico Resch, Matt Loughlin back here at Prudential Center with a sellout crowd. Witnessed the Devils' victory over the Edmonton Oilers. And I know it's not the same teams that went to the Stanley Cup final, but the Devils have beaten the champs, and they've beaten the runners-up, and now they get ready for Toronto.
Good point, Matty. I never thought of that. Yeah. And now they're going up to Toronto, which is a real challenge, and so, yeah, the challenges have to be there, or winning doesn't mean anything. Right?
Exactly.
And now it is challenge time, and they are.
And everyone looked at the schedule when it was announced and said, well, the schedule makers didn't do the Devils any favors, opening up in Carolina, then Tampa, then Columbus, then home for the defending champs, and then home for the runners-up before you go to Toronto. And Minnesota will be in wait when we come back home on Wednesday. The point is, yeah, that's true, but this is a good team. And through 5 games, they've answered the challenge.
Right, and I thought it was going to be a hungry Oiler team, and they were. First period, they had some moments, and, they were battling. But the Devils now, they've got their system in gear. Remember? It started after Carolina. They worked on it one morning in practice down at Tampa Bay before the game. And I'm thinking, let's see how this goes. They played really good defensively as a unit down there. They went to Columbus, did the same thing. They've come home and done it 2 games. So that's what you look for. The system is in place, and they're playing it the way they should. So give them a lot of credit because this is fun to watch.
Part of that system, of course, includes the goaltenders, and it was Jake Allen who played very strong today. In the end, you look at it, 3 goals, and you say, how good was he? He was very good, particularly in the first period when Edmonton outshot the Devils 9-4, and it was scoreless until very late in the period, and oh boy, you always have to be alert against number 97. Now it's Mangiapane for McDavid. No. Spins, loses control of the puck, picks it up, turns, fires, save made by Allen. Well, you got to play it till the end, and Jake Allen did, and he was scintillating today.
Well, he knew what he was facing. The other thing is, Matty, he's from New Brunswick, going against another New Brunswick goalie, but he also knows, I'm telling you, it's on TV up to Edmonton. I don't know if they carried it across Canada. I know he was hungry to play well. And, boy, that first period, especially that save on McDavid, showed that he was ready to go.
More highlights to come, but first downstairs we go outside the Devils' dressing room where we are joined by Luke Glendening. Luke, it's Matt and Chico. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we appreciate the effort that you put forth, particularly on springing Connor Brown for the goal. That was some battle. Take us through the play.
I'm just trying to get it out. That was all Brownie. I didn't do too much there.
Oh, come on now. I know you're being humble, and he finished it off with the shorthanded goal, but you're fighting to get that puck possession, and you were able to keep it alive.
Yeah, I think as a group, our PK's done a good job of sticking together and working to get the puck out. Sometimes that's battling, sometimes that's using your other teammates, and we were able to do that tonight.
Well, Luke, you're here for many reasons, and congratulations. You came in as a free agent, and you made it. Just tell us, though, Edmonton in this face-off circle, that's what I want to know. That's where you are defensively. What were the challenges as you're thinking about the game today that you really had to be aware of?
They have good face-off guys, but just so many weapons after the face-off. So, when you lose one, you can be in trouble in a hurry. So you just try not to lose it clean. It doesn't always work to perfection, but we stuck with it and did a pretty good job.
Well, you were very good in the face-off circle this afternoon, winning 10 of 16. That's 63%, and that's a really nice number, and congratulations on that. So this is a new experience for you from a lot of standpoints, the PTO, but coming to a new team. What have you seen? What do you like about what's just starting to sprinkle and bubble up for the New Jersey Devils?
Yeah, I think it's a great group to be a part of. There's a lot of guys who are really hungry, young and old, so it's a great mix in that way. But I think, it's just the relentless work that this team puts in practice on a daily basis, and I think that shows up on the ice. When you have some of your skill guys willing to do whatever it takes to win, whether that's block a shot or make a simple play. That goes a long way. And I think, it's just a great team to be a part of.
Well, look, when you come to the any team, and we're all the same, and we always say, oh, no, I think this great bunch of guys, or whatever. But you come to the New Jersey Devils, who have been on the cusp, but they haven't moved higher than they want to. What do you see that you want to support and help the Devils do this year that maybe they haven't in the past? And I know that's a big question, but, that's your role.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably don't move the needle a whole ton, but I think, just consistency, to show up every day, ready to work, ready to try to get better. I know I'm an older guy, but just coming with that attitude every day and, try to drag guys into battle. I think that's part of it. I don't play a very glamorous style of hockey. I know that. I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, you don't grow up when you're a kid in your driveway taking face-offs. You dream about scoring a big goal, but everyone's got to find a way, I guess. But no, in all seriousness, I just want to be a guy who can be counted on. To do things that other guys don't want to do.
Hey, I heard, Luke, that you used to beat your mother consistently in the driveway on the face-offs. That's a good way to get confident. Well, we're sure glad you're here, Luke.
Well, thanks, guys.
Well, we do appreciate it. We'll let you go with another question or two, and that is, you've been around a long time. Does that sound like one of your children nearby?
No, someone was yelling, though.
Oh, okay. So, because we were going to let you go if that was the case. But my point is, you've been around 13 years, so I know you're downplaying and you don't move the needle, but you've had to do more than just win face-offs to be 13 years in the National Hockey League, particularly as someone who is an undrafted player. But when you look at an early season game like this and the way the team bounced back off of the loss in Carolina, found its game in Tampa Bay, now have won 4 straight. You beat the defending champs. You beat the team that finished runner-up. And now you're on a little bit of a roll. I know it ends puck drop against Toronto, but what does a game like this, a little stretch like this, mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you can build your game, that's what you want to do. And, every game you just want to get a little better, and that's what we're trying to do. There's going to be steps back at points, but, you want to have the standard continue to be high and try to meet that every day, and that's what we're trying to do.
Oh, Luke, absolutely. And the other thing you want to try to do, and I know this is an aside, but fans like this, is your family going to be able to move down here from Tampa Bay with you?
They are. My family got here last week, or I guess the beginning of this week, so it's been really nice to have my 2 kids and my wife here.
Well, she's the driving force behind your play, isn't she?
Okay. Yeah, she allows me to do this, and I'm so thankful for that.
Well, we appreciate your time spent with us this afternoon and the work you did on the ice in helping the Devils to the victory. Luke, enjoy this Saturday night with your family, the day off tomorrow. We'll see you at practice on Monday.
Okay, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, Luke.
Luke Glendening joining us. And, his road not easy. I mean, it's not like he was a highly recruited star out of playing high school in Michigan. He did go to Michigan, but even there he was told, well, we don't know how much time you're really going to see.
There was no guarantee he was going to make this team. He came just hoping, and he played well and so forth. But, he's the type of guy that you want. Like he said, I want to drag. Here's what he wants to do. He wants to drag his teammates into the battle, and he wants to drag the other team out of the battle. Mm-hmm. And that's what he's there for, and that's what he's doing. And, Maddie, we always talk about it. You win championships. Usually your top 6 have to come through. I mean, like he said, he doesn't move the needle that way. But your bottom 6 have to be almost unbeatable. And, of course, it's not going to happen. You know what's interesting about him? He went in Carolina, and I remember, Maddie, he lost some faceoffs. When everybody's saying, no, he's here for the faceoffs, he's for the faceoffs. Well, yeah, he's here for the faceoffs, but you can't expect him to win every one. But he bounced back after that, and not just him, the whole team, because that was a disappointing loss, right, Carolina? Mm-hmm. But they got it together in Tampa and just locking it down and becoming more and more solid in the important areas, especially play, Maddie, without the puck. And he's that way. And I still think that's the key to the Devils.
And that's why bouncing back as they did off the loss in Carolina and winning today, I'm going to combine them.
Okay.
In that, and I may be making, a mountain out of a molehill here.
No.
My point is this team was very disappointed by the outcome from a lot of standpoints against Carolina.
Yes.
They thought they could at least compete better against Carolina, and they really didn't in that game. Next time around, we'll see what happens. But they do bounce back, and they've won 4 straight. Now they come in here, these last 2, not the same teams that met for the Stanley Cup last year. I get that. But if they leave this rink this afternoon 3-2, they're questioning again. Like you said, it's between the years now. They're questioning again, well, who are we really? Are we an elite team? Can we be an elite team? If they don't show up on Tuesday, they're going to leave with a loss. But my point is, I think this really does a lot to solidify that emotion.
Well, it does. Who in their lives, all you folks listening to us, who out there wants to be inconsistent? I don't care what walk of life you're in. You generally, Maddie, you want consistency. You want to be able to develop your thought process, your physical skills to a level, okay, I can be consistent. And they haven't been in the past. But to start this season, that is exactly what they should be feeling good about, that consistency.
Let's get back to the highlights, shall we?
Right.
We left things off with Jake Allen stopping Connor McDavid late in the first period. No score after 1. Into the second we would go. And Jake Allen, well, let's see. McDavid's number 1, no question about it. Draisaitl's a very, very good number 2. Tomashik around for Nugent Hopkins, checked by Hischier, who's out there with Mercer. Now a pass cross ice save by Allen on Draisaitl. He had some room. Allen came across, and Allen made the save, and the game remained scoreless. He made a stop on Evan Bouchard. There was an opportunity Bouchard had later, a rising shot, had to rush it because Dawson Mercer was coming in front. Can't forget those plays. And then finally, the Devils started, Chico, they started to gain control of the game.
Yeah, they did, Maddie, and they looked like it wasn't just fluky stuff. Oh, we're gaining control. It was forechecking, making passes, defending. You could just, if you looked at that point, Maddie, you're right. You said, who's the better team? You're going to pick the Devils.
And the Devils would take the lead at the 8:07 mark of the second. Here's Mercer. Runs it to the right wing corner. Emberson there. Pokes it to Kulak. Now up along the wall for Nugent Hopkins, a former first overall draft pick of Edmonton. Now it's Jack Hughes with the burst of speed. Moves in with the shot. Scores! Just like that, Jack stays hot. And it's 1-0. The Devils jump out in front. And Brett Pesce with a calm play, a little bank pass off the boards, and Jack gets inside and goes.
I mean, that's what's overlooked, folks. Maddie's bringing it up because this wasn't just an average pass. And we can see Pesce breaking up plays with a stick defensively. But what we forget sometimes, on the offensive side with that stick, he can also make some pretty slick passes and plays, and he did there.
And it gave the Devils the 1-0 lead. Further along in the second period, Andre Palat had a great opportunity, but Calvin Pickard, who maybe deserved a better fate, he was able to come up with the save, and so the Devils were clinging to that 1-0 lead. Luke Hughes had a chance. Pickard said, not tonight. But then, as the Devils got a power play with Matthias Ekholm off for a hole, the Devils' power play went 1 for 3 on this game. It took, count it, 4 seconds for this to happen. Jack Hughes in front for Palat. He's robbed. Oh, my. Calvin Pickard denies Andre Palat. We stay 1-0. And that was the highlight I referred to earlier. Now, without further delay, and that was my mistake, here's the power play goal. Mercer, Hughes, Brett, and Hamilton out there for the Devils. It's the elder Hughes, Jack, who's on the ice.
So I'm thinking if you're the Devils, you would shoot the puck, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would think.
With the guys maybe injured.
Here's a chance, Brett. Backhand scores! Well, they must have heard you. Jesper Bratt into an open net. He made a little move.
Yep.
Pickard bit, and the net was wide open. It's a power play goal. And we were referring to the fact that Matthias Ekholm, when he grabbed Nico Hischier crashed into Pickard, slow to get up, flexing his knee, and that was you talking about get shots on goal.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm going to take some credit, but you know what else? And they used to do this in hockey. They'd say, that guy is hot. Let's throw him off his game. So what do? They rip one off his helmet. Okay, that's the start. He's kind of shook up. His helmet comes off. Then Nico Hischier blasts through him and hurts his knee. I love that. They said, if we can't beat him, just normally we're going to throw. I don't know if he was injured or not, but, I mean, the great fake by Jesper Bratt was brilliant, and then he had the empty net.
Jack Hughes with the primary assist. Nico Hischier won the faceoff, got it to Jack. Jack fires it cross ice. Bratt does the rest in just 4 seconds. At 16:02, the Devils had taken a 2-0 lead. It was a late push in the second period by Edmonton. You would expect that, particularly by that guy, 97.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he could take charge of a game. Here's the difference, though, Matty. If he had better surrounding players, he could take charge of the game longer. But because he and Draisaitl, I'm not putting down the Oilers, but they don't have a lot of other guys. He could still take charge for a short period of time, but not the long period of time that the Oilers were hoping.
And McDavid helped set up the Edmonton goal late in the period. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins made it 2-1. And so into the third we would go. The Devils down a man when Cody Glass was called for a high sticking penalty at 10:02. But the Devils penalty killers did the job. And this is the play of the game. Brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. McDavid back to Draisaitl. Hard pass to McDavid. They don't connect. Battle. Dillon's holding off of McDavid. Here's Glendening sweeping it ahead. And here's a breakaway. Connor Brown. Short-handed scores! Connor Brown, the shorty against his former team. It's 3-1. And that was the Prudential play of the game. And the words of Leon Draisaitl were in his ears as he was breaking in, as he told us.
That's a great point, Matty, because he had played with Leon for a few years. And Leon said, hey, if you get a breakaway, put the puck on your backhand just for a second. So as a goalie, you're seeing that, and you're thinking, is he going to shoot it backhand? Then he quickly went from his backhand, he was a right-handed shot, to his forehand, up over the shoulder. And Cody Glass must have knew what he was doing when he took that high sticky penalty, because that resulted in the short-handed goal. But just a great effort by Brown.
Leon Draisaitl with 52 goals last year. The man can score goals. You might listen to him once in a while.
Yeah.
Not Connor Brown's role, and I know he was joking a little bit, but a little bit serious too. You might as well learn from one of the best.
Well, you know what the other thing is, Matty? When guys go on breakaways, they've got that. Like he had a zone or two breakaway. You have time to move the puck around. Move it around. I'm a goalie, and I'm thinking, well, what's he going on his back? Or what's he going? You know what I mean? Don't just go down, carry it on your forehead, and then try to shoot it, because that gives me the knowledge that he's just going to shoot it. So anyway, Brownie must have felt very good, and he's going to have a good night tonight, sitting back and thinking of scoring that goal.
Luke Glendening, who fought for control, wouldn't let the Edmonton player get it. Finally was able to spring Brown, who went in on the breakaway, and he picks up the only assist on the play. The goal at 10:37 of the third, the shorthanded goal, second of the season for the Devils, gave them a 3-1 lead, and then less than 2 minutes later, they opened up a 3-goal advantage. Oh, here's Jack Hughes, has it in front, backhand, goes forehand, and buries it. And the Devils have broken this game open. They lead 4-1. Wasn't a breakaway, but he went backhand forehand.
Well, like I say, Matty, moving that puck, and players can. I mean, in today's hockey, they work on it so much in practice. Don't just do the obvious. Move that puck around a little bit. You know, and Jack, well, you don't know what to expect with him. I'm surprised that he got Pickard to move across. You know, I mean, I thought, you know, Pickard, make him go all the way across. But he didn't. Pickard made the first move to the left. Jack went back to his left, which was the right, to Pickard, and then he had the whole net.
And it was 4-1, and that basically put the game away. But Edmonton was not going to go quietly into the evening. They scored at 16:30 to make it 4-2. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with his second of the game. Dawson Mercer would score into an empty net, and then with less than 2 seconds remaining, although it will be officially recorded as a goal at 19:58, Curtis Lazar wired one past Jake Allen, 5-3. The final score. But a win is a win is a win, and we'll be hearing shortly from head coach Sheldon Keefe, and I think he's got to feel pretty good. He downplayed it. He said, that's for the media to talk about when I asked him about the importance of this game, and I get it. It means nothing if they don't win on Tuesday, but this is a nice win.
Well, again, Matty, we talked about the last game. If you're going to pick apart the Devils game against Florida, you got to nitpick. If you're going to pick them apart today, yeah, you're going to nitpick, but I think there's too much over-analyzing. You know, the Oilers want to win. They have really good players. They're going to have their moments. But when the moments counted, the Devils came through. And so let's enjoy it. Let's not get too crazy. Well, we could have done this. We could have done that. No, just everybody enjoy it. Go home. Do whatever you're going to do tonight with your family. Don't think about it too much. And like you said before this game, start building it up in your head and in your heart. We're a pretty darn good team, and we can beat just about anybody, and we'll be able to beat anybody on any given night. And that's what you have to ultimately believe if you're going to win the Stanley Cup.
We're going to hear from Brett Pesce in a moment, but first let's check in with the head coach, Sheldon Keefe.
Tell your group about themselves.
It's less about the opponents. We beat both opponents last season too, so it's less about that, just more about our game, and putting it together more consistently. Stringing together wins, all that stuff is important, but it's how we're doing it, how we're going about it, which has been really good. And probably the greatest news of all is while doing that, we've got lots to get better at. So, we'll just keep working at it.
Is part of this building process, maybe if you kind of look at that first period where maybe a little bit slower legs, so to speak, but there's like a patience, and there was no panic in anyone's game. Is that something new maybe that you're sort of starting to see develop
That's
here?
Exactly right. I don't know if it's new. I don't know if I'd call it new necessarily, but it's part of the process. I mean, we want to start fast. You want to get out and get to your game right away, but the other opponent is trying to accomplish, they're trying to accomplish the same thing. So, we got another early penalty kill, which is something we can't give that up. There's opportunity for a goal or momentum to go the opposition's way. So that kind of stuff we got to clean up. But, if it's not going your way early, don't panic. Don't open the game. Don't get consumed by the shot clock. Just trust the process of how you're playing. And I think that's probably the best thing coming out of this little stretch here is just the confidence that the group has. 60 minutes, stay with it. Get the kills when we need to. Penalty killing again, just unbelievable. But don't sacrifice our structure and open up the game unnecessarily, because over time we believe that our team will find its way and score the necessary goals and give us an opportunity to win.
Sean, what stood out most to you from what you saw from Connor Brown when you coached him in the AHL to now? What's sort of grown in his game over that decade?
Honestly, I don't know if I'd say much has grown. I think it's just he's become the NHL version of what I had at the AHL level. He's always been a top-notch person and teammate. His leadership qualities stand out the very first day that you're with him. But just his skating and his tenacity on the puck. He's a smart player. He reads the play very well, so you can use him kind of anywhere in the lineup. And he's got, I would say, an underrated skill set. He scored 20 goals in the league before, but he can make plays and drive possession and do all those kind of things that can help you, anywhere in your lineup and in tough matchups and such. So yeah, he's been outstanding for us here, and good night for him.
Obviously, we talk about this after most every game, but just another strong night from the penalty kill. Just what's been gelling there.
Yeah, it's been great to see. Obviously, we've kind of picked up where we left off last season. Even with some of the small tweaks that Shazzy's, he's put into the group and some of the new guys. I mean, Glendening and Brown are, the first two over the boards for us most of the time, and then they obviously weren't with us last season, so they just stayed with it. I think our defense has been outstanding. Goaltending has been good. So all those guys cohesively working well together have just given our team lots of confidence, and it's what drives winning. Is that you can look at, that's a lethal power play on the other side. And if you take a penalty early in the game, that can go bad on you, and then now you're chasing the game, and it doesn't. And then in the third period, it's a one-goal game. Instead of it, being the thing that swings the game, our guys, swing it the other way and kind of break it open. So, yeah, it's been a tremendous asset for us. Was last season, and it's great to see that being the case now, and obviously needed to continue.
Coach, you mentioned last game the number one priority for your team was to protect your net. How do you feel you guys did that tonight?
I thought we did excellent in that area. Not perfect, there's times where we can do a little bit better job for sure, but for the most part, I thought we did a really good job. Jake did a good job of any pucks coming through people and bodies, but they didn't get through us, or free and available at the net very often. So it kept the scoring chances down as a result, and not an easy task to do against this group. I thought our D defended really well against their best guys. I thought, we used for the most part Nico against McDavid, and we used Glass against Draisaitl, and that was that was a real test for those guys tonight. I didn't know going in how much could I use them against that, and I started them in the game and wanted to see how that was going to look because I thought I could really free up Jack in the game. And those guys were terrific, so all that stuff, because of the job those guys did against their best people, that really controlled the scoring chances and kept us in the game no matter what was going on.
It just seems like right now every goal Jack scores belongs on a highlight reel.
Two great ones tonight, no doubt. He's just getting better and better. He's finding his footing in his game, it seems. I mean, the first goal, first of all, incredible job by Pesce to knock that puck down and get it to Jack, and then it's just world-class skating ability to, jump in that hole and separate enough to be able to get off a shot. Just incredible. And then, he pounces on a puck through grid structure. I think Palat did a good job there as well, and helping to keep that puck down, and then jacking alone is dangerous. So, yeah, those are great. It's great to see. Like I said, I thought we got great contributions all the way through. I mean, Glendening's effort on Connor Brown's shorthanded goal is outstanding. So, it's a good team win. It's great to see, and looking forward to keeping building it.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thanks.
And so, as Sheldon Keefe concludes his post-game news conference, a lot of things that I learned. We like it when players tell us and break down a play. I had this option, that option. I like what Sheldon was doing, explaining how he employed the centers and why he did that, and to try to take some pressure off of Jack and see how Cody Glass and Nico Hischier would be able to respond. He felt that they would. He's comfortable with them. But, interesting to see a coach's philosophy as well.
Well, when you see Draisaitl and McDavid coming into town, you say, okay, your left defense has to be good. But he's saying yes. But I'm going to add a second dimension, and that's why today, I saw those guys being double-teamed. So if you got Cody Glass or you got a forward going at him and the D, they shut those guys down. I mean, there was two great passes by McDavid, but he did not have much room. And, Matty, I think that is the other confidence-building factor that you always talk about. The win, yes, but we went against two of the best. And they didn't get much.
No.
And that's what you sit on and you can go back to. But you know what I like? He credited everybody. Again, if I said to you, tell me one, weak link for the Devils, you couldn't. Maybe the guy sitting on the bench his posture wasn't great, the backup goalie. But other than that, Matty, who didn't come up with a big play?
No, I mean, they probably didn't see some of them as much time as they would have liked, but went in there.
Yeah.
They didn't make a mistake that led to a problem. And, I think about Gritsuk's stick plays, when the Devils had a power play, but almost gave up two shorthanded tries, but his stick work against McDavid, blocking a pass one time. Those are the things that stand out. He's not on the score sheet from a point standpoint, but he helped limit the trouble.
Well, Matt, and that's coaches will notice that. That's what he needs. Not just to play more, but for him to feel like I've adjusted to this league. The Continental League over in Russia was completely different, but I'm adjusting to the NHL. And then Simon Nemec, he's another guy. Like he's not making mistakes. The only guy I feel bad for is Boom Boom Bouchard, the defenseman for the Oilers, because he got beat again on that shorthanded goal by Brown. Made a bad choice. But when things aren't going well, right, everything seems to pile up, and he's in a tough streak. But, well, let's face it, so is Connor McDavid. No goals.
Yeah.
All the stuff he's doing.
And he's never had a stretch at the start of a season where he hasn't scored like this.
Is that right?
That's how good of a goal scorer he's been. But 5 games, he's never started a season 5 straight games without a goal. He's now up to 10 regular season games without a goal, and he's not going away. But it's just something to note. I think that 10 is close to a career worst.
Well, like I'm going to say it again.
If not his career worst.
We're not into criticism. We're into observations. We've observed that Connor McDavid hasn't scored in 5 straight games, and like you're saying, 10. That doesn't mean, then he's no good. No, it's just interesting.
Yeah. He'll probably still make the Canadian Olympic team.
And he'll still probably get up to 30 goals. But, Matty, you said it, and we're going off on the Oilers, but they played so many games the last 2 years. I don't care what anybody says. They're not robots. They're humans, and he's got to be a little tired and discouraged.
Yeah.
It's not fun to lose, and it's not fun. They have to work so hard now just to get a goal. That's not what he's looking for, or Draisaitl, or any of the Oilers. But I got a feeling, at least for the first half of this season, things aren't going to come easy to those Edmonton Oilers.
Who have 2 more games left on a road trip. The Devils will have Sunday off, and then they get ready to play Toronto on Tuesday. Before we end this segment, let's check in with Brett Pesce.
Just take me through that thought process there in the neutral zone. You seeing Jack there to feed him?
Yeah, more lucky than anything, but just saw him kind of flying. I saw 2 guys cheating, so just try to get it to him, and he turned on the afterburners.
And your thoughts on just the way he finished that play?
Yeah, not surprised. World-class play by world-class players. So,
what do you appreciate or like most about the way you guys stayed patient, and especially in that first period? To sort of, and like with full confidence, it looked like the way you guys were, there was no panic there.
Yep. Yeah, we're just maturing as a team. Started with last year, and, it's hasn't been many games, but so far, nothing seems to really rattle us. We trust our structure. We trust the guys in this room to get the job done no matter what, and no matter what happens, just play the same game, and we're confident it's going to work out.
I know for you guys, everything is about how you guys are feeling in this room. So when you beat a team like Florida, then Edmonton, what statement does that tell you guys to yourselves? Not league-wide, but for you guys.
Yeah, we can play with anyone. There's a lot of belief in this room, and even if we lost to these guys, there still would have been belief. We know how good of a hockey team we are and we can be, and confidence is a vital thing in this sport, so it's kind of good to see things clicking.
Connor Brown's a guy who went to the final, obviously, 2 years in a row. What has he brought to this group, just every little thing he can do?
Yeah, huge. To be honest, I was actually telling him the other day, I didn't realize how good he actually was. He's in the West and didn't play him much, but yeah, he's a heck of a player. Does everything. He didn't realize how fast he is either, so we're lucky to have him, that's for sure.
What was it like to see him score that goal?
Yeah, I'm so happy for him. He lit up, too, like a Christmas tree, so it was good.
Bert, a lot of the conversation has been about the maturation of this group. It's been 31 months since the Devils won 4 in a row. What does that say about this team?
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I guess it goes just back to maturity. That's a crazy stat that everyone probably should have figured that out last year. But, like I said, we trust our structure, we trust our game, and no matter what happens, we're not going to get rattled.
That is Brett Pesce speaking with the media, including our Amanda Stein. And, I guess he didn't know that it had been almost 3 years since the Devils had won 4 straight games, which they did. They had won 13 times. They've won 3 games. They put together 3-game streaks, including this one, but previous 12 times couldn't get over the over the hill. Now they have, and now the challenge is make it 5 straight.
Exactly, Maddie. And they don't remember the numbers, and that's okay. But you know what they do remember? Their head, their heart, that they are winning games against good teams. That's what stays with them. I was the same way. I don't remember all the numbers, but I knew when we were playing well and we could beat most teams, almost any team we played against. And I think the Devils want to get there, and I think they could this year.
Well, the next step will be Toronto on Tuesday night. Devils go on the road. We'll have that game for you here on the Devils Hockey Network, beginning with the pregame show at 6:50.